Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the grayscale trusts as well as Bitcoin, the nasdaq, and some dividends and earnings. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so the nasdaq again did dump this morning. I don't know what the heck is going on. Maybe another set of data that the markets didn't like. The only thing I can tell you guys about this is we're mainly just going sideways at this point. It appears that we're going down, but if you take a look at the higher time frames, we're actually mostly just going sideways. Okay. It's annoying, I know, but eventually the market's going to make a move, either up or down. A question of what happens and when remains to be seen. I will tell you guys that the markets could obviously go back up after earnings today because, again, we have the big one. We have nvda after market close. So do keep an eye out for that. The reaction that nvda has to the earnings will kind of be a tell-all for the markets as to what direction the markets are likely going to be going tomorrow morning. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. As for Bitcoin, I told you guys that I wasn't sure if this was accumulation or distribution before because it has been going pretty sideways for a long time. This was more predictable because this is more of a bullish pattern, but this one not so much. But it does appear that perhaps this is distribution on Bitcoin. So I'm kind of thinking maybe this is a mid-cycle pullback, and we're getting this one a little bit earlier than expected. Last time it happened in May. And then we'll get a bounce from this point. So assuming that the weekly and or the daily doesn't hold this 87,000, the next level that we would drop down to here would be about 78,000. And then below that would be obviously the green zone here is 60 to 70,000. Whether that's going to happen or not also remains to be seen. So looking pretty bearish for Bitcoin right now, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the cycle. I mean, I kind of figured after all these huge moves up, there would be some kind of larger correction. I mean, this was a large one, but I mean, like, when I say a correction, I mean something like this, like, a big, ugly, nasty dump, kind of like what we're seeing right now. And that does appear to be the first one that we're getting. So as long as we hold above, how do I say this? As long as we hold above 60,000, above this swing low right here, we're good. We're still in a bull run. At least that's how I see it. So if I were to measure this from top all the way down here, and I know this is probably not what you guys want to hear, but this is the reality of crypto. Unfortunately, that would be a 45% pullback. That would definitely be a mid-cycle correction, and then we could just swing higher from there. It doesn't have to go that low. It could stop at 77,000 or anywhere in between where it is now and there. I just want to point that out. So our swing trades are still on. So we still have those. We still have the puts and the calls and all that stuff on TSLL. Bought some more AIPI this morning. Yeah, you can see all the swings here. Been thinking about adding money to these positions. Haven't made an ultimate decision on that yet, but yeah, I'm just gonna let them play out. Pretty confident they're gonna go up pretty quick. I mean, a lot of these positions that we have for the swing trades are actually decent stocks. That's a quantum stock, that's an AI stock, and that's a electric vehicle stock. So, and NEO is based in China. It's not an American company. So the whole fracking thing in the U.S. and I'm not saying that Trump is anti-EV. I don't know his exact stance on it, but it's not a worry if it's a Chinese company. So, anyways, going over to the dividend ETFs. So we'll start with this one, FEPI at 98 cents. I believe these are actually probably paying less because if the market's going sideways and they're paying out large distributions, it's based on covered calls. Like you can see here, they own the stock, they write covered calls. Well, if the current share price of these stocks is, if they have to write a much higher covered call strike price in order to get premiums, it's naturally going to pay less in premiums. Like, I'll give you guys an example for those of you guys that are not familiar with how the options markets work. Some of you may not be. Some of you may just be dividend investors or swing traders. So our current price on TSL 1941, current market price 1330. So in order to get a good look at the actual premiums that we could be getting here, we'll just go 9 days out. So let's say that the current how do I say this? Let's say that the current strike price we were trying to get profit on was 1550, and our average cost was 15. Well, in this case, we would get $35 in premiums. But since our average cost as of right now is 1940, and the puts haven't played out yet, our average cost is 1940. Therefore, in order to even get premiums at a profitable position, we would only get 6 cents per share. So you can see how the premiums, which the dividends are getting paid out from, are decreasing slightly month over month, at least until the prices go back up. So it's kind of how that works based on my understanding. So 98 cents for FEPI here. Next one, AIPI. This is more AI companies. Let's see here, $1.35. So that's still pretty good. I don't like the fact that this is still not consistent like it was, but again, the markets have been kind of very choppy lately, and we haven't seen an actual definitive move up yet. So CEPI, this one is on its second month, pretty good distribution, $1.57. Now, whether it's return of capital or actual dividends, or premiums in this case, I should say, in the form of dividends, I'm not sure. You guys will have to look into that in your own time. So Round Hill, excuse me. So it appears that they have some new weekly cover call dividends, or is this? I'm not sure if these are covered calls. We'll have to go over these more in depth in a separate video as to what these are, but they're weekly paying dividend ETFs. That's all I know. So anyways, they have some new ones on Coinbase. It appears Palantir, Apple. I would assume this is Tesla and NVIDIA. So keep an eye out for that. Distributions for those are coming out this Friday. So they're on a bit of a different schedule than the indices ones. And then we'll go over the indices ones right now. So XDTE, we'll start with this one. So current distribution 20 cents. And again, keep in mind that is per week, not per month. So that's 80 cents a month. QDTE here, 26 cents a week. As of right now, we're about $1.04 a month. And then the last one here we got is RDTE. Naturally, if small caps are getting absolutely smashed because not even the big indices are not even going up, then naturally the premium is probably not going to be that much. So yeah, 19 cents here. I mean, that's still not bad. I mean, you're talking 80 cents a share per month. I mean, it does add up over time. So next one here. So we got the Yield Max ETF. So you have QDTY, SDTY, GPTY, 32 cents, just under 20 cents, 31 cents, and then 54 cents for LFGY. YMAX, YMAG, 13 cents and 17.5 cents. NVIDIA, $1.61, 58 cents dips. NVIDIA could pop after earnings. That's also possible. If NVIDIA skyrockets, NVIDIA is naturally going to skyrocket. So for those of you guys that have NVIDIA, we also have it. FB, 47 cents, 44 cents for GDXY, $1.92 for Babo, JPMO, 29 cents, MRNY, 23 cents. PLTY, $5.93 and $1.55 for Maro. And something that they did that was interesting, I don't remember seeing this before, but they put up here whether something is return of capital or not, and the percentage that it is or is not return of capital. So that's also something to look at. Okay, so now going over the trusts. So LTCN, basically same thing as before. So $9 is kind of the bottom I'm looking at right now. The target would still be all the way up here between about 27 to 54. It could go much higher. Again, there's a lot that, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's some things that we would need to see change in the markets before these big moves can happen. So 510%. I'll tell you guys right now, the Fed beginning to cut again or provide some kind of QE would probably pump the markets, very likely. And also the tariffs no longer being a conversation piece would also likely pump the markets, very likely. So BCHG, it's we have a swing low sitting at a previous swing high, so that's very bullish in my opinion. I think it's probably likely. Well, I'm not going to say if it's likely going to bottom out here, but if structure holds, then this should be it. It should bounce from this point. So 240 to 275 here. We're pretty close to oversold on the weekly too. There is that. I'm sure there's a lot of traders out there that are looking to pick up positions long term that are probably looking at this and saying, okay, last time we got one of these, it was all the way down here at 36 cents, and this thing did a stupid return. So it took a long time to play out, but still. So target's still up here at $12.85 to about $24-$25 for about a 905% gain. HZEN, so again, sitting here at a major support zone, 270 to about 290. Target I'd be looking for is about 805 to 1050 here for about 290% gain. ETCG. So let me get rid of some of these circles. I don't know why I have these on here, but yeah, let's get rid of some of these so we can actually see the charts. Okay, that's a little better. So unfortunately, it has kind of, well, it's not actually closed on the week, but if this support holds, then 850 to, I'd say 990 at this point. If not, then it may trudge all the way down here to 7.25. Based on the way Bitcoin looks, it's possible it could actually go down to 7.25. Targets I'd be looking for is still going to be up in this zone up here at 1850 to 20 for about 175% gain. Then you have ETH. So I'm looking at 1840 here as the potential bottom. You could go all the way down to 1550 if you think Bitcoin's likely going down to 77,000 or even down to 70,000, probably somewhere in this green box. Target I'd be looking for is all the way up here at 73 for a pretty large move. 307% gain. GBAT. Yeah, definitely be looking at the white line at this point with Bitcoin doing what it's doing. So about 2.5, 240, somewhere in there. The all-time high would still be the target, so 32 for about 1,300% gain. FILG still trying to hold these wick lows, so anywhere between 20 to I would probably say maybe 20 to 25 worst case scenario. And then all the way up here at 400 for the target, in this case, 1,800% gain. GLIV, next one here, pretty much at the current level is what I'd be looking at. I mean, it's already bounced off this green zone. You can see it immediately got bought up, and that used to be resistance there, so somebody's looking at this. So pretty much anywhere between 6 to 680 at this point, and then the target would be all the way up there at 80 for about 1,240%. And again, the volume is relatively small, 3.2 thousand shares, but when you think about it, it's not really a small amount of money. I mean, it's even at 680 a share, I mean, that's still a decent amount. You're talking $22,000. So, okay, G-Link, we'll be looking at absolute worst case scenario here, roughly about 27. Again, these wicks do generally get bought up when they get down there. And the inverse is true. When you see lots of large wicks to the upside, there's probably a seller looking at that thinking, I want to short at that level. So keep that in mind when seeing these charts. So 28, and then all the way up here at the highs at 223. So almost a 10x, 715%. GSOL, so we finally have gotten down to that $15 area. It's possible maybe it comes down to 10 or 11 right at that swing high. That remains to be seen, but I'm still looking at 16 to 22 on this one. And then the target up here at 80 to 115 for about 650% gain. GXLM. So we did cut through this 36. That's not great. Whether it actually does close below here or not, that remains to be seen based on Bitcoin's current price. I would say there is a good likelihood it could actually close below here. So the next level I'd be looking at is Well, basically just this gap here. So 27 to 32, where it currently sits, or maybe even as low as down here at 23. Targets I'd be looking for is 60 all the way up to 69. You could go all the way up to 96 at the previous all-time highs. So let's just say worst case scenario all the way to the highs, 300% gain. Meta, so pretty much right at the current price. That's what I'd be looking to pick this up if I was. That's just me, of course, right here where it currently sits, because there's a lot of price action right here where it got either rejected or it got bought up 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So, I mean, the next worst thing you have is down here at the bottom of this wick low at 550. So maybe somewhere between 550 to 7. And then the target would be up at 70 at the previous all-time highs. So about 1,220% gain. Zcash. So it is still holding this huge range here, barely with this wick, but it is. So maybe somewhere between 280 going all the way up to 650. And then targets, I'd be looking at 14 to 18 all the way up here. Again, that's kind of where those swing highs were back during the bear market drops. So it's going to be a significant level for both profit takers and for sellers. So 535% gain. All right. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.